Hey everyone, and welcome to another Words to Film by Monday mornings with Mike Malai. Hi, I'm Mike Malai, and it is Monday, June 23rd. I hope you guys had a restful weekend and you're ready to dive into a brand new week of creativity. So I want you to put on your creative hats and think about this week to come. So your first act of the week. I want to talk to you about something that's I think that all of us goes through at one time or another that we grapple with the sheer scale of our situations. I mean, we sit down to write a screenplay and we stare at 110 pages built, a mountain of pulp looking at us, whether it's digital or real, and we have to climb that thing, and or we have to start a novel, and we're looking at 300 page marathon, treating it like a marathon, and trying to get to the top, or you know, we're content creators and we have to come up with strategies and for our content, and we're already thinking about the year end analytics and how profitable it was. It can be paralyzing sometimes, the distance between the starting line and the finishing line. So it is vast. It is hard to look at. We don't even take our first step and we're already panicking. We shouldn't. This is what we love to do. So today I want to talk to you, and myself included. I want to talk to you about something that's profound, about the profound creative power that we've been given, and the profound creative power of the tiny victory. It's not finishing the script. It's nailing that one line of dialogue, one perfect shimmering line that reveals everything about a character that you created, without saying it directly. Show don't tell. Rich Cotieri. He always says that. It's not about winning the Oscar. It's the moment you finally crack that scene transition that's between tormenting you, and torturing you for days and days and days. So it's not a viral video with 1 million views. It's the one comment from a stranger that says, "Hey, this is exactly what I needed to hear today." That's content creation, and connecting with one person. That's a tiny victory. We're conditioned to celebrate the finishing line. We always have been. I mean, it's like it's born in us from the time we're in kindergarten. Hey, you won the race, you got a star. But the truth is, it's about the entire journey, the the entire art of the journey, this world that we create and the characters we create. These are the building blocks to everything that we do. I mean, we love doing this stuff. That's why we do it. When a character comes alive, Rich and I always say this: when your character comes alive, the story writes itself. And the character says something that was completely unexpected, that's so true to them that it gives you chills. That's a tiny victory. You know, when you find that perfect cinematic image to replace a bunch of crappy, clunky paragraphs that you threw together because you're trying to get exposition together, that is a tiny victory when you could show and don't tell, and say everything with that look or that moment. These moments are the fuel for your projects. They're the proof that you're on the right track, that they're the spark of joy, in a long project that's burning bright. When you're lost in the middle of act 2, and your engagement numbers, that your engagement numbers are going to be flat. It's not the fantasy of the finish line that will save you. It's the memory of those last tiny victories that you experienced getting to that point, and the belief that you can create another one and another one and another one. So, you know, think of tiny victories and how they are. So this week I want to challenge all of us to recalibrate our mindset. You know, what's the what is our definition of progress? You know, let's try and see celebrate and actively hunt for small wins. And that, of course, brings us to our this week's writing challenge. We're calling this one "Capture a Single Moment." Um, your mission this week is not to just build something massive. It's it's to create something small but perfect, something complete in its own right. A tiny little victory that can help you build a, a mountain from a grain of sand. A monumentous monument, of a story from one tiny victory. So, and all there has to be is something that you can hold in your hand. First, I want you to think of a single emotionally charged moment. Not a whole story. Just a moment. You could take it from any of your stories. You know, for example, the moment someone realizes they're no longer in love with someone, that moment, it could be said with a look, an expression, a feel, while another conversation's going on. What is he doing or she doing? The moment a child understands a parent isn't perfect. The moment, of a quiet, prideful moment after assembling something with your own two hands. The moment you decide to quit a project, the moment you decide to quit your job, or the moment that you just decide to quit everything and walk away. So second, your job is to capture the essence of the entire moment. Using only one specific creative tool. This is about constraint and focus, and focusing in on that ability to create a tiny win. So for screenwriters, write a single page of a script, no more than one page. Convey your chosen moment using only action and subtext. No one can say what they're feeling. Nobody can say it. You know, the, don't say, like, hey, a character. First of all, a character's packs a suitcase. Okay, but it's the one thing that they leave behind that tells the whole story. So they left something out of their luggage. A character repairs a broken object, and the way they do it shows how they shows how they want to resolve the whole situation. So show us everything without telling us anything. you know Show, not tell. you know for writers, write a single perfect paragraph. Just one. Your tool is a sensory detail. So don't tell us the character is sad. Describe the bitter taste of the coffee, the coldness of the window pane as he leans his head against the glass. You know, that specific scent of rain and what it smells like, you know, maybe on hot pavement, and that triggers a feeling that you're going to describe. Make us feel that moment, through senses, how it looks. It's a visual art. You're showing, not telling. So for our content creators, okay, that's a little bit of a challenge, but all the principles are the same. Create one piece of micro content, a single powerful image with a caption of 15 words or less, or a concept video, you know, just maybe like 6-7 seconds, 6-7 second of loop with no dialogue. Your tool is the juxtaposition. Place two ideas or two images together that can create an immediate emotional reaction. A shot of a wilting flower by a shot of a newborn's hand. Like I can think of that visually, because my grandson, was just so happy. He had a flower and he kept trying to show it to everyone. He's a year old, and the joy in his face and the way he held it, like it was the biggest trophy in the world. So I can see that in my head. Being able to describe it, and showing it, not telling it, you know how it happens. And so while you write it, you're showing how it's done. So So I want you to work on this. I want you to try and have something ready by Wednesday that you can say, "Hey, I made this. It works." Let's fill our week with these moments. Let's honor the small wins. Yeah, okay. Let's honor the small wins that lead to the big ones, because a masterpiece isn't one single act of a genius. It's a thousand tiny victories, they're all strung together, with courage and persistence. So, every time I do a painting, painting is not just a sketch and some paint and canvas. It's one brushstroke at a time, one little dot to another dot to another dot, even digitally, one pixel onto another. So go hunt for those tiny victories this week. Find the perfect line, find the perfect image, and then when you do, I want you to pause and celebrate it. Whether you share it with us or not, have a fantastic week of creating. I'm already proud of what you guys are doing, and I've gotten some great feedback from people. A couple of people have sent me their things. We're working on it right now, and there's great things to come at Words to Film by. There's a lot of great things coming up, so stand by. We got some great stuff coming. I will see you on Tuesday and Thursday with Rich Cotieri and Scott Graham and the usual crowd that shows up, not to mention everybody else on our different platforms. So I'm looking forward to hearing from you and working with you guys and hearing your great tiny victories, one step at a time. Anyway, this is Mike Malai for Words to Film By with my partner Scott Graham and Rich Cotieri and the whole uh, Words to Film By team. Anyway, have a great week and see you soon. See you Tuesday.